As in data stored in data warehouse, we have the data stored in very denormalized format. That means the data is kept in a very atomic way, which makes it easy and efficient way to perform any kind of analysis or reporting on top of this data. If you are into designing the data model for your business use case or into data warehousing, understanding the fact and dimension table is very basic. These concepts are much used in OLAP application rather than OLTP. That means these are used in online analytical platform where the data is stored as a data warehouse and which is meant for a reporting or kind of a analysis purpose rather than storing a transactional data. So let's take a real world problem and try to understand how fact and dimension tables are built considering certain design parameters. Before proceeding, if you are in a learning path about data and haven't yet subscribed for this channel, please do like and subscribe. Press bell button for instant notifications. Let's take a real world example of an online shopping application where you want to perform certain analysis on top of the sales which has been done on particular month or particular week. So it is like a sales retrospective. That means you want to see how your sales went maybe before a particular month or in a particular sale period. And so this helps in making better decision and improving the business strategies. So as a business owner, say we might be having this data. So using this data, so which has multiple parameters regarding this, like what are the products, what who is the seller, and what are the different customer feedbacks. So how customer is feeling about particular products or particular seller. So based on the feedback, so what necessary actions can be taken to improve the sales in near future. So with this kind of data, we can see what are the post analysis we can perform. As you can see, there are different post analysis, sales analysis we can perform. So based on this data which we have after a particular sales, so you can inform more products and also warn them, because if you see there is a delivery issue here, so where most of the customers are reporting. So this is one of the parameter we can consider, and we can also inform XYZ Electronics to increase their sales because they are having a pretty good rating. But if you see the number of sales or number of rating are very less, that means their sales are very sales volume is very less. So we can inform them to increase their sales volume. And we can also take a decision of informing ABC Fashion to improve their logistic, because they have a good products, but there is a delay in their delivery, and there is a good volume also, but the only issue is with the delivery in delay in delivery. So we can inform them to increase their delivery to have a maximum sales. And also if you consider ABC shops to we can tell them to add more products, because they have a good sale, a good rating. But if you consider the feedbacks, like average feedback what the customer is giving is related to the variety, so we can inform them to add multiple products so that customer can have a lot of variety, and it will be beneficial for both seller and the online shopping application. And also we can encourage XYZ shop with more discounts, because so they have good average customer rating, and they have a positive feedback also. And only issue is like their cost is too high. So we can encourage them, or we can inform them to have more discounts so that the customer have a good experience in continuing with their products. So this is how any analysis works on particular data. It may be any business, maybe in the retail industry, manufacturing industry, sales industry, or any kind of industry. So this kind of retrospective will be done to improve the business. So that means we can take certain decision based on certain data which we have in our hands. So with this, next let's go to the next slide to jump into the actual concept of fact versus dimension table. So if you see, this is how the design looks. That means fact versus dimension table. So as we were discussing, we might have in this scenario, we might have customer data, we might have products data, we might have a seller data. and each of these are performing a transaction. So if you see customer, there might be different information customer, which is customer specific. So we have all this data, and product specific we have product related data which is very specific to a product, and again same with the seller. And with these three tables, there is a transaction being happening. So that means these three tables are the main tables, are like a master tables, and then transaction starts happening. So whenever the transaction starts happening, so we see a transaction table is getting populated with all these details. There will be transaction ID, product ID, seller ID, customer ID, what is the quantity, and what is the transaction date. So with these details, like you can clearly observe that the transaction table is completely dependent on these three tables, which we can also call as a master table or dimension table. So with this, if you move to the next slide, we can clearly see that. So the transaction is at the center. That means a fact table is at the center, and it is surrounded by the dimension tables. It is just like this. So that is the reason if we see the arrow mark, so which is coming from the dimension table to the fact table, that means so the fact table is dependent on the dimension table, and it is not the other way around. So since the fact table is at the center and the dimension table is surrounding the fact table, so the dimension tables are also called as like edge tables. So these are at the edges of the design. So with that, we will move to the next slide, where we see a difference between a fact table and dimension table. So fact table is nothing but it is just meant for holding a measures, metrics, or facts. So as we have taken an example of transaction data, where it is always capturing the metrics. That means it will be having a quantitative data, which will be having some kind of metrics or measures that are meant to be analyzed. So dimension table are just to store a kind of a descriptive way which supports the fact table. So descriptive way in the sense like if you're talking about the customer detail, so in that goes in the dimension table. So the customer details are stored in the dimension table, and all the details related to the customer and the products and the seller, which is having the detail about all these dimensions, are stored in a specific dimension table, which are more descriptive. And as you can see, fact tables are always dependent on dimension tables. So also we saw in the previous design, so fact table are always dependent on dimension table, because so there will be a foreign key in the fact table, and this foreign key in the fact table will always be referring to the primary key in the dimension table. So let's go back again and see if you're talking about the transaction here. So there is a product ID, seller ID, and customer ID, which are coming from the primary key of this customer, product, and seller. So customer, product ID, and seller ID. So this is how the transaction table is dependent on the customer, product, and seller table. That means a fact table is dependent on these dimension tables, right? So, and if you see how the fact table looks, so fact table looks like it will be usually having less number of columns and more number of rows, because fact table will be like it will be having a transactional data. That means every hour there are like thousands or millions of transactions being generated in real time. So data is being added to this table in real time. But in dimension table, we'll be having more number of columns because we want to capture the specific details related to customer or product or seller or any dimension that we want to capture. But it will be having less rows. That means it will not be having more number of rows, because how many customers will be there? There will be like 1,000 customers. There will be like 10 sellers, or there might be like 1,000 products. But if you talk about transactions, so there will be millions of transactions per day that will be generating. So that's why we call transaction table as a fact table. And if you see the nature of the data getting coming into the fact table, it's very frequent inserts. So there will be a more of a inserts into this fact table. Updates will be there, but very rare. But it will be very frequently insertions will be happening. But if you talk about the dimension table, So here we have a rare or very less frequent inserts or updates, because this dimension table we call it as the master data. So we usually don't want to touch the this this table. So on a frequent basis, there will be no point of updating or inserting more amount of data into this table. So the reason is again the same. How much customers will be added on a daily basis, or how much products will be added on a daily basis. So we can have a daily schedule here to update this data. But if you talk about fact table, we should have a like a real time, or at most we can have a hourly update where that data will be updating in real time or hourly basis. And this is meant for transactional data as we are discussing currently. So this is meant for a time series data or any transactional data where the data is coming in real time or near real time. And this is meant for details or specifics. So that's why we call it as a dimension table, as a master data. And fact tables are usually verbs. If we consider the transaction, so transaction is a verb, and dimension tables are usually a nouns. So that's how we can understand or relate, because dimensions are in our case what we have taken, the dimension is customer or product or seller. So these are typically the nouns. Also, it's very important to note that since the fact table is dependent on the dimension table in any ETL application or ELT application, whenever we are loading the data from the source system to the target system, so first the dimension tables are loaded and then the fact tables are loaded. If you are having a daily frequency or hourly frequency or whatever frequency the data is getting been loaded, so first schedule should be on top of the dimension table, where the it makes sure the dimension table is load is complete, and only after the schedule of a dimension table is complete, the fact table load should be initiated. So there will be, so that we make sure that fact tables are only loaded after the dimension table. Otherwise, the reporting or the analysis services which are running on top of this data will be inconsistent. Hope in this short video we are able to understand what is the difference between fact table and dimension table. So when we go for a fact table, when we have a dimension table, and what is the importance of designing such dimension and fact tables. So with this, we come to an end of this short video. So hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.